Hello and welcome to Nutrition and Alternative Medicine. I'm JJ Flazanes, your host. Thank you for downloading today's show. Because I'm a little crazy, I decided that I was going to record and edit together a brand new show, which I've been doing every week, by the way. But this week's a little bit different because it's right after the live event, which you've been hearing about since October every single week. So I thought, I wonder how many people are going to wonder how the event went. And I know the people in the room were going to be thrilled to hear their own voices, as well as to hear me talk about the fact that I just left them less than 24 hours ago at this point. So I really wanted to make a special show today in order to honor what our experience was at the event this past weekend. But before we get to that, I do need to tell you about our new company that we're working with called Health IQ. Health IQ is a life insurance company that gives you a 30% reduction in rates when you are a healthier person. So I need you to go check out this site right now to check your rates, check to see if you qualify, check out their service. So please click on this link. Go to this website, healthiq.com/NAM, like NAM, Nutrition and Alternative Medicine. That's healthiq.com/NAM. And see what they have to offer. Health IQ is doing something that I want everyone to be doing, focusing on prevention. We're getting financially rewarded and supported in living healthier lives. Now, isn't that amazing? So do me a favor and go to this website, healthiq.com/NAM, like NAM, Nutrition and Alternative Medicine. That's healthiq.com/NAM. And make sure to check them out because I can't support enough all the companies out there that want to do what I think is the right thing. The right thing for where we're moving is prevention. Support people in taking action now, which means they may even give you credit or a reduction because you attended the live event. Wouldn't that be amazing? So again, go to this website, healthiq.com/NAM. Check out what they have, maybe see what their rates are, see if you qualify, take a quiz, take the test, make sure that you are really well schooled about what deals and how much you could save possibly by switching to a company like Health IQ. I only want to work with companies that are like-minded and concerned about my health and well-being and not necessarily about just getting money from me when I'm sick and declining. So check it out. Now, on to the live event. Today's show is mostly going to be brought by you and a little bit of Michael Neely and Allison Melody because they took over the recording for me as I was running around trying to clean up and they were going around and interviewing people. And then some people were able to take the mic and interview themselves and give me a little bit of a testimonial and to let you know they're real people like you who listen every week who decided to show up. And while a lot of the people who were still around are people who were local, we had people flying in from Hawaii, from Rhode Island, from North Carolina, from Portland, Oregon, from Tennessee. So people decided, they invested in themselves to come to the event. And I just wanted you to hear some fun feedback about the event and about their experience. And so basically you're listening to other audience members like you, and maybe, who knows, in the future, it might be you. So some takeaways before we get to those conversations, which are super fun, is that the reason why I did this event at the beginning of the year and the reason why you're listening to this podcast and the thing you can get out of this podcast today, regardless of whether obviously you attended or not or bought the virtual ticket, is that this year is about real change for me and it is for everyone else who was in the room. And as you're listening to people's stories and what they got out of things, I want you to visualize what is it that you need to shift for yourself this year? And how can you do it differently? How can you not repeat a pattern that you continue to do year after year that gets you the same result? And how can you reach out for accountability and support? For those of you that don't know, I do the 30-day manifestation challenge. It's free and it runs for 30 days. And the next one's coming up here in February in 2.5 short weeks. So if you are someone who needs some accountability because you're not doing the things you keep saying you're going to do, especially around manifestation and visualization and meditation, I invite you, if you're not already in our Facebook group, come sign up for the 30-day manifestation challenge. Now, where you can get the link to that, I've said it in other shows, but the easiest way at this point would be to go to jjflizanes.com. Again, that's jjflizanes.com, F-L-I-Z as in zebra, A-N-E-S as in Sam.com. And on the homepage, there is a blue button that says Free Tools and Resources. Under Free Tools and Resources is the Manifestation Challenge, as well as some other things. But at least you can see what other free tools and resources I have for you, and come on over and join our group. Get accountability, take action, do something different this year. Really inspire yourself to stretch beyond your comfort zone. I had a client come to this event who I've been working with for 7 years. 7 years. And this was the biggest breakthrough. The fact that he even wanted to come to the event in the first place. It took a couple emails. It took a little bit of badgering on my side. I didn't do it that much. But I basically said, I know this isn't comfortable for you, but that's the point. If you want change, we have to do things that are new. And things that are new aren't going to be comfortable. And so what happens? What's the worst that could happen if you step outside of your comfort zone? Well, you may not like it, and you may grow, or you may not, but you can always come back. If it doesn't fit, or if you don't feel liberated or free or learn anything, then by all means, you can go back into your comfort zone. But I promise, stepping out of your comfort zone can produce miracles, and it did for a lot of people. So I hope you enjoyed today's show, provided by you, the listeners.
Hey, Michael Neely here, host of the Consciously Speaking podcast, and I just have to say I have spent the weekend with JJ Flizanes here at her event, Releasing What Weighs You Down. I've been friends with JJ for a few years now, and this is my first opportunity to really get to experience her in a live setting, seeing a side of her that I don't frequently get to see in our normal hangouts, and I have to say I have been moved, impacted, touched, and changed for this event, and I am just overflowing right now with excitement and inspiration and joy, and looking forward to moving forward into the world with the shifts that I've made this weekend. So I can't say enough about JJ. She's wonderful. If you haven't been to one of her live events, get there and keep tuning into her podcast because she delivers. All right, that's from me.
Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
What was your favorite part of the event?
Oh my God. Okay, that's a tough one because I liked so much of it. My favorite. Oh my God, it's just so hard to pick.
I know, that was a bad question.
I'm going to name several. Okay, so I love the food piece because I loved learning about the different elements, and like even just as we passed around some of the food, I tasted it from a whole new perspective.
Yeah, I let the chocolate melt in my mouth and really enjoy it.
And the greens, and I'm not normally a green eater. My wife struggles to make me eat more greens.
Right.
It's like I could taste the sun in them.
Right.
The way it was described by Jeannie was wonderful, and I know, of course, with your stuff, Allie, with Food Heals Nation, that you've known this longer than me. so it was really tremendous. So that was excellent. I love the whole part about astrology, which I had no idea about. I mean, I knew my sign and things like that, but the depth to which you can go in that was also amazing. The meditations were great. The movement, I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
It covered everything, really.
I love how JJ takes astrology to the next level, because I'm like, oh, I know I'm a Sagittarius, but she's like, well, what's your rising sign and what's your moon sign and all of these things? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then she breaks out her book and she figures it out for you and then tells you all of these things about your personality that you would have no idea. One time she left me a voicemail that was so in-depth, the voicemail cut off and she had to call back, I think. But because she was reading me all about my sign and I was listening to this voicemail, I was like, yes, that's me. So I'm really glad she included that at this conference, because I think the more we get to know ourselves, there are all these other aspects that can help us figure out who we are and why we are that way, and that we can show up in the world better knowing, what are some of our strengths and weaknesses that are, whether it's inherited DNA that Lisa teaches or whether it's what the signs are showing that JJ teaches. You're learning more about yourself so that you can just show up better in the world as the best version of yourself.
Yeah, completely. And you jumped in the conversation.
I know I did.
But no, which is great. But we don't. Who would tell people what you do and who you are?
Hi to JJ's tribe. I'm Allison Melody from Food Heals Nation. I've had JJ on my podcast probably 4 or 5 times at this point. I was on JJ's podcast a year or 2 ago, so it's been a while. But yeah, I'm here. I'm so excited excited. I'm so blessed to be here. Michael and I were both asked to be here by JJ and to speak, and so it was a great opportunity for me to share what I'm doing in my meditative practice, which I had never shared before on stage. So that was a really great opportunity, and it was very vulnerable for me, and so she gave me a chance to step out of my comfort zone, and the feedback I got from that meditation was really powerful, and I know it works for me, so the fact that I could help other people with what the songs that I use in my meditation and the way that I go about it doing the inner child was incredible, and I hope to do it again sometime now that I've stepped into that.
Heck yeah, I love it. And one of the things, too, that I loved about what you did with that is, one of the things that I teach in meditation processes is about breaking the mold of meditation, because it's not always what people think it is.
Yes.
And so for you, the song choices, normally people wouldn't associate those with meditation.
Yeah.
And so that was brilliant. I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I mean, the last song was a pop song, right? No one thinks you can meditate to a pop song, but I feel like those songs that elicit a feeling in me help me get deeper into my meditation. And so it's whatever works for you. Some people have to meditate in complete silence. Mm-hmm. When I'm in complete silence, I'm like, I got to walk the dog. I got to do the laundry. My worry list goes on and on and on. And so for me, it's like if I have music to focus on, it really helps get me to a deeper place where I can cry, where I can release, where I can have a memory, where I can heal something.
Yeah, I totally love that. So it has inspired me to do some shifts around in my meditation stuff and really even play with some other songs and see, okay, well, what is the essence of that song? Where does it take me in my meditation?
Yeah.
So that was so cool. So that inspired me as well. So
Awesome.
thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I appreciate that feedback.
Absolutely. Do you want to do JJ a big favor?
Yes.
And shall we go around and interview some people?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. We're heading about the event, and let's talk to Ravi here, okay? Ravi.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to be on the podcast for JJ?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so tell us your full name.
Ravi Wilkie.
Okay, and where are you from, Ravi?
I live here in the South Bay in Redondo Beach.
Awesome, cool.
What was your biggest takeaway from the conference?
Oh man, there's so many. I really loved the inner child meditation that Lisa did this morning. I think the biggest thing for me was that even though I'm really familiar with a lot of the stuff that we covered and I implemented in my own daily life, I was really impressed of the impact of hearing it from different perspectives. Not just from all of you guys, the presenters, and JJ, but also everybody's perspective as they were going through the process and seeing what was coming up for them, and how I think the biggest impressive part of all of that was that it's so closely related to my own process. So it was as if everybody was one little piece of a much bigger whole.
Yeah.
And sort of the bonding experience that we all had over the weekend.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
Appreciate
welcome. Thank
that.
you.
All right. And I feel like we're kind of hijacking her podcast from her, aren't we?
I know, we kind of are, but that's what we do because we're podcasters too, so we just like to take a microphone whenever we see it and talk to as many people as we can.
Exactly, you got that right. Let's see, who else can we grab here? Let's go over here to this part of the room. All right, we're going to grab you for JJ's podcast. So tell us your name and where you're from.
Catherine DeJoya. I'm from Lomita, California.
And so did you have a transformation at this conference? Did you release some of the things that were weighing you down? Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
I did. I actually loved what you did with me. Like, I didn't cry throughout the whole thing except with you. Aww. That brought out my tears. So I was just like, it brought out a lot of emotion in me. Same with JJ. Everything she did too did really well for me as well. So I think I'm going home with a lot of tools, but there's just so much in my head that I'm like, okay, hold on. I need to just kind of take a second, relax, and then re-go over all my notes and every paperwork and everything like that and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have to take a step back to fully actually absorb what we have just learned because this was such an experiential, immersive experience, right? And so taking that step back, taking that deep breath, and then re-going through the notes in order to figure out, like, what do I want to take forward with me in my daily life and what am I actually going to change practically in my life?
Like, when I went home Friday night, I was so overwhelmed with everything. I was like, oh, my gosh. Then Saturday, I slept like a baby. I went home so happy. My heart was so full. I had a lot of energy when I went home. I was like, okay, I got to bring it down because I got to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then today, I told my friend Julie I didn't want to leave. I was like, I don't want to go home yet.
No.
Like, I don't want this to be over. It was my first retreat, so it was very special for me. So I already can't wait for the next one. We'll see, though. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're all at JJ's next one, you know?
Right. That would be great. I think it'd be great to connect with everybody again and see everybody again, but everybody's schedule is different. Who knows where we'll be in 9 months and then in a year.
Right, right.
We'll find out.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Thanks.
You got it. We're still scouting about. We're scouring the room looking for people.
People are looking at us and looking away.
I bet Chrissy has something to say to us. All right, let's get Chrissy. Hi, Chrissy. Are you willing to be on JJ's podcast?
Sure.
Okay, so tell us your full name and where you're from.
My full name is Christine Asher, and I guess I'm from Westchester, California, as of 15 years.
So, can you tell us what your top takeaway was from the conference? What are you going to take home and implement into your life?
A lot of my top takeaway was from you two, is meditating, giving myself a positive message, Michael, like that you gave me to, because you're right, all the negative messages we tell ourselves is a kind of a subconscious meditation that, I've been meditating my whole life. The wrong messages, time to change that. I think, just knowing that a lot of what happens to us is programmed when you're so young, going back and reprogramming that, as opposed to blaming somebody that what happened, nobody in my life did anything to me maliciously, and even if somebody did have something malicious happen, but going back and being that nurturing person for that child versus I can't change the past. I can't go back and fix it. I can't change it, but I can go back and rewrite my story. I can go back and make it something new. And
I think that's beautiful, and it's like we can relive our past and re-traumatize ourselves, and so I love the idea of going back and rewriting that story, as Michael calls it, talking to that inner child and giving them so much love in that moment that they experience, so that when you do remember a traumatic experience, big or small, you can actually have love and gratitude around it instead of shame, anger, and all sadness and all of the things we carry with us.
Right, yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to other things as an adjunct, is the healthy eating, and Lisa was amazing with the healing and the energy, and and of course, huge gratitude to JJ for just facilitating the whole thing and bringing all these wonderful people together.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Michael.
We would love it if you would be willing to be on JJ's podcast.
Always.
All right, so let's give us your name and where you're from.
My name is Chris McPeak, and I live here in Los Angeles.
It's such a great place to live.
It is.
And what was one of your biggest takeaways here at JJ's event, Releasing What Weighs You Down?
The experience of the nonviolent communication, getting to know our feelings with our needs and providing strategies for that. I had, I guess, what I would call a pretty good breakthrough experience with that activity, and I think it's something I'm going to employ in my daily life, especially knowing that experience helped me figure out how to put the focus on myself instead of pointing the finger at the other people all the time. And it's working already, because I came here wanting to figure out some communication issues I'm having in my marriage. And before bed last night, I called my husband, and we had what I thought was a very nice conversation. And when I got up this morning and turned my cell phone on for the first time, there was a lovely text message from him saying that he wanted to let me know the discussion we had last night on the phone was one of the better conversations we've had in years, and he wasn't sure if it was me being here that did it, but I'm here to tell you that it absolutely was. And like I said on the video, and like I said in here earlier today, this shit really works. And I am incredibly proud to have been a part of it. And I just put my credit card down for the next one. So yeah, I'm in like Flynn.
Oh, that's amazing.
All the way.
That's such a testament to the power of the work that we're doing. The fact that you had an experience that affected you within the time that you're here with your relationship, and the fact that you're already signing up for the next one means, just like you said, this shit works. And I agree with you. And I'm a retreat junkie. I go to a lot of conferences and retreats, and I just can't get enough. And I'm so grateful that you are here.
Thank you.
Because this is the first time we met in person, but I've known you online for about, 2 years
about 2
now?
years, yeah.
Yeah, so it's great that things like this can bring people together who we know from Facebook.
That's right. Amen. Preach on.
Yeah, so
For real.
So glad to have you, and I'll see you at the next one, right?
Absolutely.
We'll all be there.
Yes. Karaoke first.
Oh yes, absolutely. We're going to
Karaoke first.
Thanks so much for sharing. It just
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and your story moved me.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. So it's been really fun.
It's been
doing this, Allison.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. I know, it was fun just walking around. This just impromptu happened. I came and sat next to you while you were recording because I was like, I'm just going to sit here and see what happens.
And it's amazing when we do stuff like that. And that actually, there's a testimony, whatever, in that the fact that when we do stuff that may not be our normal comfort zone, when we step out a little bit
Yes.
and do something like that, look what opens up. This
Yep.
whole possibility of what we just did.
I couldn't agree
Wasn't
more.
scripted.
And I would have never come up to you before I had my podcast because I wouldn't have had the confidence that I could use my voice and interview people in the room on the fly with no plan, no questions, no nothing.
Yeah.
And so that's me stepping out of my comfort zone 2 years ago to start something. And now the effects of that are incredible. And I've learned so much about myself and built my confidence. And I love stepping out of my comfort zone. And it's
Yeah.
scary,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
Yeah, and when we do that, it's like it creates this momentum of its own a little bit, and somewhat you could consider it like an echo of other stuff then that happens from it. So like when you
Yes.
thought about your podcast, which you do sit, typically a podcast, you're sitting in a room by yourself recording.
Alone in my PJs.
Yeah, exactly. But now you're out physically doing it because of this echo effect that it's grown and grown to where now you're comfortable doing this right with everybody in a live room, in a live space,
Yes,
in front
exactly.
of lots of people. So, yeah.
Well, it's been a joy being with you this whole
You
weekend,
too.
and now doing our little impromptu interview has been great.
I love it. I look forward to working more with you.
Yeah, I'll see you at Podcast Movement where we will be speaking
That's
with
right.
JJ.
That's right. We
Yes.
will. Look for our panel. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
What a awesome weekend, releasing what weighs you down. I'm so excited that I got to be a part of this great event. Thank you so much, JJ.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon LeClaire, and I am from Rhode Island. The desire to change was greater than my resistance to flying and all of the feelings of that. If you know anything about JJ, then you know her level of content and you know the quality of content that she puts out into the world, from her podcast to her books to her website. You will gain more awareness of yourself in addition to building a community of people around you who want the same in their life. And as I approach the end of this Mind, Body, Soul event, I look forward to putting into place everything that I've gained and also remaining connected to those who are wanting to do the same. I'm ever so grateful for those who want to create more light in the world and who see their purpose to helping everyone do so and to get to their level. Each part of the Mind, Body, Soul workshop has allowed greater levels and layers within myself to identify and bring awareness to what's been holding me back in my life. And for the first 31 years, I've been collecting all of my past experiences and all of the chapters in my life, but I know that my life is greater than my beginning 31, and I look forward to everything that I can do with my next chapter. I'm excited, I'm invigorated, and I feel supported, and I feel ever so filled with gratitude to myself for taking the initiative to make this happen. So I invite you all, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Ruby Bray, and I'm a college professor and coach. And I've just spent an absolutely amazing weekend with JJ Flazans. And what I found was that while I did not come longing to release anything, that something that had happened years ago really needed to be released to allow me to move forward. And I'm so thankful that the processes that she used and the guests that she invited to participate provided such a beautiful environment for that work to be done. I am very grateful for her willingness to be guided, for her willingness to be of service, and for her willingness to establish relationships with us that were just so trusting and open and safe. For those considering participating with her in a workshop, or people who listen to her on the podcast, I'd say that we are all richly blessed to have her offering her gifts and using them in ways that support our best selves. JJ, thank you so much for all that you are and all that you give.
Hi, I am Yvonne, the Vitality Vixen, and I want to just say thank you, JJ, so very much. I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of your event this weekend, Releasing What Weighs You Down. I got to share on day one in the community about how I've been growing and expanding for like 3/4 of my life, and I am in this place of like stepping into the newest phase of my life, and I've been held back by resistance and self-doubt and not really being able to just allow myself to give other people the permission to like me, not like me, judge me, not judge me, accept me, whatever. And that has not allowed me to be out there in the kind of way that I can really make a difference and share my message, which is so incredibly important to me and that I'm passionate about, you know, making a difference in the world. And it was just amazing how authentic you were, how congruent you were with, you know, your message and everything that you put out into the world, that you were that in person, just as much as you are, you know, over the airwaves. And the community that you created really allowed each and every person to transform themselves in such a remarkable way. And mine was really around, you know, it's okay to be polarizing, and that actually will allow people to be attracted to you that you really are meant to serve. And so I'm really grateful because I feel empowered and inspired to just get out there and make the difference that I was born to make. And so thank you very much. This is Yvonne Larson, the Vitality Vixen, and I look forward to the next event.
Hello, my name is Marjorie Alexander, and I've been acquainted with JJ for 3 years now. And along the way, she has been planting seeds of nutrition and mindfulness, healthy eating, purpose, energy, etc. And while I've heard most of what she said over the years, I've not always listened, unfortunately. But I did have an opportunity to attend this event, Releasing What Weighs You Down, and I jumped on it because I know that I needed to be here. If you feel like you are one of the uninitiated, or if you have been on a path of doing this work in your own life for a long time, it does not matter. The great thing about JJ is she meets you right where you are. And everything was applicable and transformative, and I cannot wait to go home and integrate it all. So next time this event is offered, I would very seriously consider attending if I were you. I think it will help transform your life. Seriously, I do. Because I know that it has already helped me transform mine.
Well, there you have it. We have a few people who got to share some of their insights and transformations from this weekend. There were a lot more, and this whole event will be turned into a different home study course that you can purchase later if you'd like to experience what they indeed experienced. And we are doing another event this year in September called The Next Big Step. And we're also doing another Releasing What Weighs You Down next January 10th through the 13th, 2019. So if you want to know more about that, make sure that you're on a list of some kind of mine. Go to jjflazanes.com, go to those free tools and resources, grab something and you'll get on the list. Go to releasingwhatweighyoudown.com and we may have a link. We're going to set it up if we don't right now. Have a link that will allow you to subscribe just to that event, so that way when announcements are made about the next two events and you're interested, you can sign up, because there is a limited amount of seats, and we were about 5 away from capacity this time. Although the room was completely full, we couldn't have fit anybody else. The difference will be how we structure the tables next time. So there will be a limited amount, and if you want to get in the room, it's going to be a first come, first serve. So I hope to see you at the next live event. Come on over to jjflazanes.com, get on the list, and we'll see you soon.